Okay, I've talked, look at me, come on, look at me. I've told you before that test 3 is a combination of unit 1 and unit 2, right? I like doing that for some reason. It makes me happy, I don't know why. No accidentals. Maybe I should do that. Okay. What was this? Thank you, Kim. Thank you. No malintent. Hey. Quiet. So because test 3, and look at me, come on. Test 3 is going to happen pretty quick. Like because of the football games and the Thanksgiving break and me being gone, it will suddenly arrive. It'll be time to take test 3. We want to take test 3 a couple of weeks before the Christmas break. Because Christmas break is the end of the term, we want to give time, in case there needs to be some sort of retake for a few people, okay? Because I would like to send you home on the Christmas break with no homework or anything, so it's like a really nice break. Listen, look at me. So because test 3 contains so much review from unit 1 and unit 2, these packets have only questions from those 2 units. So there's nothing new here at all. It's just things that you learned in unit 1 or unit 2. Do you understand? Okay, we're going to count these as mandatory quizzes. Meaning on your grade, they'll go in the grade book as a quiz score, but these you can't drop. Like you have to do these, because I'm giving you 8 full days to get them done, plus 1 full class period to work on it. Some really can't help you, but you can work with each other. You can use your notes from unit 1 or unit 2. You can compare answers to make sure they're right. All of that's legal. It's like open book, open note, open friend, open teacher, whatever, okay? Everybody understand? And then when you come to class on Thursday, we'll run the Scantrons to see what your quiz score is, and whatever it is, that's your score. Questions about the assignment between now and Thursday? Please.
So the quiz is still out of 10? Or
not these. So the quiz we just did, the kind of normal in-class, that's still out of 10. I'll still drop 1 every 3. But this is different. This is like a take-home quiz, open book, open notes. So whatever percentage this is, I'll type that in. So this is a mandatory assignment. And it will count more than the regular quizzes. I had to find something. Hey, look. I hate busy work. So I didn't want to give you something that's just busy work. So this isn't. This is stuff you have to know for test 3. But we don't really need to spend time in class on it because we already have. That's what unit 1 and unit 2 were for. So really, a bunch of these questions, you've already seen them. They're straight from unit 1. Like you'll go, I've done that one before. That's fine. I'm just trying to help you remember it for unit 3. Question? Please.
How come it's counting as a quiz instead of like a homework?
Like a homework? Because I really wanted to count more. That's why.
Okay.
I feel like it's more important. So I'm really trying to make sure that your mindset is, hey, yeah, I got to do a pretty good job on this, because it's really like a part of a practice test. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
Okay.
And the other reason, I guess, was we haven't had time for very many quizzes, so I'm trying to make sure we have a decent score in that category. That's all. Good question, Tara. Anybody else? Awesome. So right by your voice. Nope. Hey, so right now, I gave you 2 Scantrons. Write yellow on one, pink on the other, so you don't get it mixed up. No, sorry. There you go. You're right. I actually asked him and he wasn't available. So.
I was doing unit problems in one of my classes. He came home and looked at it, and he just told me the answer. I worked it out.
Imagine.
Like 9 steps. How did you do that in your head?
Yeah, I actually asked him and he wasn't available. So. I asked all the math teachers if they knew anybody. No one knew anybody. It doesn't matter. Just make sure it says KPL. So. Hey, on the yellow packet, there are a few questions that you do not need to answer. So I'm going to give you the correct answer. You will mark the bubble sheet, and then don't do that problem. Just counted as correct, okay? Karen?
I came in late, so I don't have.
Just come up here, please, just see it. Please.
Can write on these ones?
Oh, yes, you can write on these. However, hey, look at me. Actually, we'll give extra credit to the whole room. Raise your hand if you know what my, okay, like, it is true you can write on it, it's yours. But what is my advice with regards to writing on practice tests? Okay, everybody remembers my advice with regards to writing on practice tests. Reagan?
Don't write on them so you can practice them again.
Yeah, don't write on this, you can practice again. Like, leave it blank so you can do the practice again. How many knew that? 5 tickets. 5. Whoa.
I heard 5 tickets.
Yeah, me too. That's the problem. 5 points. 5 points. Machine.
Like those Uno things, like the Go Uno, it's like spits out tickets.
Okay, hey, sick. That's what we're gonna remember. Sick. Sick. Whack. Sick. No. Okay.
Every day is
Okay, yellow, number 13, please bubble in A. Yellow, number 13, please bubble in A. Yeah, we really haven't covered what you need to know to do 13, so it's just too much work to extract it from the packets. Then 14, bubble in C on the yellow. Again, don't worry about these, just bubble them in, skip them, you know. 37, bubble in D, please. So A for 13, C for 14, D for 37. Now go to your pink Scantron. Number 5, E. Number 5E. 11A. 14A. 15B. 35C, that's all on the pink. And then turn to the very last 2 pages of the pink packet itself. 35 is C. Turn to the very last pages in the pink packet. There are 3 problems there that are not multiple choice. Don't cross them out or anything. We may use them later, but don't worry about doing them now because they're multiple choice. I mean, they're not multiple choice. So the numbers on those are 37, 38, 39. This is the new homework record sheet for this year. Again, hey, the record sheet, I pay you extra credit. I want you keeping track of, you know, the time you spend outside of class. So record everything you do outside of class on this just so I can see. Okay, for the last 25 minutes in class, we're going to work on this sheet again together. So first thing, next we're working on this now. So we're working on this one. It's a bit bright. I asked for yellow, that's what I got. So.
I like
There you go. Oh, that's my bad. I printed those in the wrong place. I apologize. The difference between a complaint and pointing out an error. It's easier to write the other way. It's an error. Like I'm against design flaws. I was an engineer for 15 years. I hate design flaws. Fix those kind of things. Hey, look at the board, please. Some extra credit points here. I want everyone voting. We talked about how the key thing on a sign chart is you must know what you are analyzing. If you make the sign chart with the wrong equation, the whole problem is wrong. You don't get any points. Yeah, bummer. Okay. That's a word from my era. Okay. So you got to know what we're analyzing. So listen carefully to my words. Listen. Listen carefully. I'm going to ask your class a question. I want to make sure you know what you should analyze. So imagine that they give you a problem and they give you an equation for F. Okay? They give you an equation for f. And then they say, please identify where does f have a point of inflection. So they give you an equation for f, and they say, where does f have a point of inflection? Well, you don't have any graphs available. All you have is an equation. So you know right away that you're going to have to do a sign chart. So do we need to make a sign chart of, this is f, this means f prime, this means f double prime. So show me your silent vote. They give you an equation for f, and then they say, please identify where f has an inflection point. Should you be building a sign chart for f itself? That's this vote. Should you be building a sign chart for f prime? That's this vote. Should you be building a sign chart for f double prime? That's this vote. So show me your, go like this so no one else can see. Show me your vote. What should we be building a sign chart of? If you're doing this, give yourself 2 points. Okay, let me say it back to you. Listen, hey, f, this is what you memorized off the white reference sheet. F as a point of inflection when f changes concavity. Without a graph for f, I can't look up here, come on. I can't see when f is changing concavity. I can't see when f prime is changing increase to decrease without a graph of f prime. The sign chart, therefore, must be built over here of f double prime. When I see f double prime changing from positive y coordinates to negative y coordinates, I'll know that f had a point of inflection. Carter, please.
So pretty much define whatever you need to find, the chart only lets you talk.
Hey, listen to Connor. 3 points. Sorry, 3 points. Clear. The chart really is guiding your thinking. If you don't have, now, if we have graphs, it's different. Because I can look at a graph and see concavity on a graph. And I can see increasing, decreasing on a graph. But Connor's correct. If all you have available to you is a sign chart, you've got to be either looking here or looking here to answer whatever they're asking. You need more clarification on that idea. Please.
Why aren't we looking at the f prime plus or minus?
No worries. So you can answer this, I'll help you. So if I do a sign chart of f prime, I'll figure out when f prime has positive and negative y coordinates. What will that tell me about the graph of f? Very good. But when f is increasing or decreasing, it doesn't tell me a thing about where f has inflection points.
Yeah.
That's why. Good point. 2 points. There you go. Awesome. Next one. Listen close. This is not meant to be a trick question, so just listen carefully. They give you an equation for f prime. But they want you to figure out where f has a relative max. Do you make a sign chart of f itself? You make a sign chart for f prime, or you make a sign chart for f double prime? So they give you f prime as an equation. So they give you f prime as an equation, and the question says, where does f have a relative max? What should we be building a sign chart of? F itself, f prime, or f double prime? Show me your vote. Whether you get this right or wrong isn't really that important. I mean, you get a couple of extra points, but what's most important is that you're thinking about it. Even if you get it wrong, the correct memory will actually become more permanent because you experience the act of thinking about it. So if they give me f prime, and they want me to figure out when f has a relative max, here's my thought process. F has a relative max when f changes from increase to decrease. I can't see that because I have no graphs. So if I do a sign chart of f prime, the sign chart of f prime will tell me when f prime is changing from positive to negative y coordinates, which will tell me when f is having a relative max. So I should be doing the sign chart of f prime. So if we did this, 2 points. Do you need me to talk more about that, or answer a question, or discuss it further? Cool. Last one. What if they they give you a formula for f itself. They're giving you the equation for f. And they say, oh, one comment, sorry. On the previous one, the fact that they gave you f prime means they were just giving you a head start. Like you didn't have to go find any derivatives. They gave you the equation you needed. So, okay, new problem. They give you f as an equation. And they say, please find the relative minimum of f. Do we build a sign chart for f prime or f double prime? Show me. So they give you an equation for f, and they say, please figure out where f has a relative minimum. We build a sign chart for f itself, f prime or f double prime. So they give you the equation for f, and they say, I want to figure out where f has a relative minimum. Am I doing a sign chart of the equation of f, sign chart for the equation of f prime or f double prime? Doing this, give yourself 2 points. We want to talk about that. Please, Austin.
I just have a question on the last thing that they give you at the start. So if you were writing it down like the example on the written portion of the test, would you still have to factor it out? Put it on the line chart?
Yes.
If you did it, you probably.
Most likely what would really happen is you build the sign chart wrong, and so everything will be messed up. Question?
Did you just ask the same thing that doesn't matter which one you build? Because you can tell which one is increasing or decreasing
No.
if you build with that sign, right?
Because when f has, let me demonstrate. When f has positive y coordinates, that doesn't mean f's going up. That just means the values are positive.
Okay.
Like here's a picture of f double prime.
You'd be positive and
Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, like I'm just gonna finish saying it so I feel good about myself. Here's f double prime. We learned from the sign chart of f double prime that f double prime is negative for these values of x. So what I drew here was values of x that are, the y values of f double prime that are all negative, but they're going up and down. Yeah, increasing, decreasing doesn't mean positive, negatives. Please.
So, is there a way to like go backwards? Or do they give you f prime, f? Like, will they ever?
Yes, it's called the antiderivative. We learned that in January, February. So.
Get excited.
It's okay. Okay. It's like everything you learn, right? Just step by step. Like, yeah, just step by step. So everybody look at me real quick. I got a comment on Mary's distress. Now look over here. Look over here. Look over here. Look, you're okay. Look here. Aaron, look up. So one thing I'm trying to get you to have, like I want your, okay, look. I'm trying to convert everybody to what's called a, it's not my term, but it's a popular term right now. It's called a growth mindset. The idea of a growth mindset is that you just have this attitude of, hey, I'll never learn anything anyway. So your goal isn't to learn everything. Good luck. What I figured out after living on the earth for 52 years is the more I know, the less I know. Do you understand that? Yeah, every time I learn something more, it's like, oh my gosh, there's this much more to know. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm just falling behind. Like, so I've kind of had to get more and more comfortable with, I'll never know everything. It's not even humanly possible. Okay? Tell later that's religion. Okay. So, fair enough? Yeah. Okay. Look. So, the idea is that you just have this idea of like, no, I just want to keep learning as best I can. Like, I want to get used to the learning process. So, yeah, just keep learning. Good deal. No pain, no passing out, no pain. Keep learning. Keep learning. Anybody else? Awesome. Okay, I'd like you to do problem number 4 in the buff packet. Then just like think of it like a quiz, which you can ask each other. You can ask me. Do number 4, please. Go. Do number 4, please. Yes, on another piece of paper. Yes, Blakely. Yes. Buff. Yellow and pink are for homework. Yeah. Do number 4, just like it was a quiz question, please. Do number 4 just like it was a quiz question. So stop me if you're puzzled. I'll try to do my best to help. But do number 4 as though it is a quiz question. Do it in your notebooks. You have a good record of it. Do number 4, please. What's that? Yeah, it's one class bundle. Here was the other class. So work number 4 as though it's a quiz. You can work with each other though on this one. If you weren't here last time, just kind of hang out for a minute. We'll do it together in a second. If you weren't here last time, you'll want to make sure you watch the video from last period so you kind of get caught up. So, apologize, I was a little slow getting the video posted this time due to all the retake traffic. So. As you're working the problem, some question kind of pops in mind. Just stop me as I walk by. So. Yeah, so you're in good shape. So you figured out what do you want to analyze. Very good. So you've got your equation for f prime. You've got your f prime equation factors. Perfect. In fact, I would probably put an f prime there just so I don't get mixed up. So step 3 is now we start building the sign chart. For the factors of f prime, which are 3x minus minus. Yeah, we caught old Aaron in the illegal position.
That's bad. My answer is no.
Every student feels like they're doing something. This is the most obvious thing ever. Like you tell her to look up, there's one person like this. Yeah, you're being really nice. Sorry. All right. That's funny. It's quite a balance. There's two.
Okay, can we just talk about this problem for a second? So, we have just X, right? And then after that, we have X. So I have I did not. Yeah. Okay. So I did. Okay. So I did X prime, right? Okay, then I made the sign analysis, and so I did a 3x right? And then I did x minus 2 to 0 to 2. And then for the f prime, I did negative, positive until 0, negative until 2, and then positive as f prime. Then I said relative maximum is when it's going. Yeah, so increase to decreasing. It's going positive to negative. Yeah, that's the answer I got. Oh, I didn't see it on there. It's on there.
I did. Because I didn't.
Yes, I got it. No biggie, no biggie. So I just taught you all how to do it, and I have no idea what I'm doing. That was incredible.
She's explaining why she got it wrong.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, you want to practice writing the reasons because on the written portion of the test that's required.
So, yeah, that's where I'm confused. So, that's relative maximum.
Yeah, but you gotta have more words, otherwise it's really vague. So what you want to be saying is.
Yeah, I don't know what I should do.
Okay.
I should be saying.
are correct primes, right? So I can write down F prime change. Positive and negative. So,
Yeah, or I'll just throw it in.
the solution's on the board if you want to look at it. So. And again, hey, most important part, I tell you this all year long, but the further we get into the class, the more important the why becomes. Like you just can't memorize everything. You got to know why things are what they are. So as you look at the solution, if some sort of why question's coming to mind, just stop and ask me. Make sure you have the concluding statement at the end. That's crucial on the written portion of the AP test. So.
It's not fun. There's just like, wow. This one's really okay. What I decided halfway through last year, I'd rather get in class than not in class. It doesn't matter. No one will ever know. It doesn't matter. Only if you're getting back to your class. It's like that could be really good.
That makes things probably easier. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get magnified. And I'm not gonna have to take this is
Yeah, and then you're going to improve at writing and if you take like this, that's fine. Don't worry about the end. Okay, so you know what I want you to draw so you can understand this better? This line. Come here. This line.
You guys have hard please.
I know, you gotta understand.
Never look at me. Never look up. Look up, look up, look up. Just real quick, hey. Make sure you're putting this in your notes. The written portion of the AP test requires a concluding statement. And listen, the conclusion must include a correct reference to F prime and to F. Otherwise, you do not get points. So it's got to have both of them. Please, Laura.
So is it okay if you say F instead of F?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Whether you say F alone or F of X, they count that the same. So, good question. Anybody else? Awesome. Okay, again, we're not doing a homework from this tonight, so you're going to focus on review for this basic week while I'm gone, and then we'll hit this again when you come back. I'm going to pay tickets today. So David, question?
You're not checking anything on Friday?
No, I'm not checking it out. So just giving you a head start and get working on those reviews. So again, tell me how many tickets you're owed. One for being on time, no cell phone while we're talking, no talking while we're talking. One
say the ones for last time too?
Say again.
Do we say the ones for last time too?
Hold on. So, hey, no one talk. No one talk. You're eligible for, yeah, I did forget last time. Some days I just won't pay and we'll just kind of not worry about it. But last time I told you I wouldn't, I forgot. So you can get 2 tickets from last time, 2 tickets from this time, plus any tally mark tickets that you're on.
You can get two and then you tally them. Like 2, 4, and then like 8, 9.
Oh, good job.
And then I have those little puzzles sitting in my class. No, I'm just here to understand. Mary is
Actually, Cole came, started, well, he's gone one day, but he's actually,
I know, I've seen Mary.
Cole came for one day, and then
No, literally, his whole room is awesome.
Cole means Zach,
He's
we're
up
on the
in
bench at our way, and he just thought, like, let's do the same weight. Not that's a bad thing. Not that.
Crowds is so fun.
You would have like barely pushing 10 reps. Because that's what all the 5 on each side. Pump out 10.
Hopefully sooner.
That's what you gotta do.
I just, because I don't know if there's, so just sit there right, you got.
It's a little thicker than me. But I lift it hard. I'm not, yeah, I'm.
So go.
You make cheese standing, but like, I'm not.
Yeah, that was him. Good. Steven.
Wait, what happened? Sound like right I didn't do that. Hey guys, this is your own turn. I didn't do that. You guys suck at shooting.
Go down to your chest. Right?
That is not even a hard.
I've been told
Is your conversation?
I was going as far as you could.
Wait, no, I feel like I want to know.
I was only going. And I like your push the bar all the way down. You picked it up. Walk to the bottom. Chest. Oh, okay. Did the same thing. I like push the bar down. It's doing the splits. Like everyone can put the bar down at the chest. Yeah.
Take everything off.
He just like he just doesn't do it on his chest. Okay, we did like squats. Like you go like I was like no they like I put the bench and I was like don't touch your butt.
That's what my little picture is. Like, takes it off, like, he's like, it's down. Like, no, it's not.
Like, Adam was like, I am touching my chest. I'm like, no, you're not touching your chest.
In soccer, they seem to me to all like work out, except for there's like the Manchester boys. Like, just like, bar. I'm like, oh my god, this is
On TV with the magic.
It's not rubbing off. Oh guys, I feel like I'm gonna lose my temper. I'm wondering if I
I'm not so bad.
I wonder if I should take it out. I've never had my face deleted in my back. Okay. Wait, how is it like a face deleted?
My brother just
Oh, right.
Wait, so is your guys' conversation like sassy or
brother
like
just saw I texted her on Friday and 2 weeks ago we never done it. So yeah, I'm trying to get my little we just got one of those like Peloton like bike trainer things. So he does that and then he's just distributing little candies like I'm trying to get my brother to do that. He wears his little tank tops. It's so way bigger. But he's not. Like I'm surprised he's irritated that I texted him.
Anyway.
I'll take his
So wait, what happened? She scared me.
Good work, you guys.
Thank you.